Okay, we are live.
Good.
Okay, perfect. Welcome everybody to today hot seat. I have two amazing gentlemen with me, Ross and Jean, and we will talk today about amazing product, amazing project and amazing company, which we know for more than 1.5 years in our company in Coinset. It's the Soulb. STOBOX has been working with Coinset very successfully, I would say, by launching platforms, by promoting the own utility token, and most importantly, giving opportunity to our community to promote, to earn money, to be part of the company's success, and most importantly, to share the journey together. And today we have amazing news to share with everybody who joined today hot seat, and I can see that we are live at the moment. Please do share this link with everybody who are from Coinset community, from other communities. If you believe that a person should get the value from what we will discuss, then definitely please act on it. But without further ado, let's have a look a bit more detail what actually has been done, and most importantly, what is there lays ahead of us. Can we please maybe briefly start, Ross, with like a brief story, how it's all started and where you are today with your tokens and specifically with SLX for our community.
Perfect. Thank you, Mila, for the invitation, and we are happy to share new insights, updates, or provide more clear picture where we are, what we did, and where we are going. So before we start, I want to congratulate everybody that we finally reached the amount of 10,000 minted SBIDs. It was today. So we reached this amount and we're moving forward. So to sum up, 10,000 people now can access their STOBOX products and their STOs, right? That is starting from their GFST security token, because our main idea that we're building, it is our ecosystem, right? And the first client who will be inside our ecosystem, the first STO, our priority client, it is GFST. So GFST STO will be the first STO where people will be able to log in with Soulb when they pass KYC one time and then interact with the dashboard. And 10,000 minted SBIDs, so decentralized identity, it is very important metric for us, because at this moment we have successfully verified more than 18,000 people from 90 countries, right? And it is, of course, a big amount of the community, and we have more than 48,000 token holders of SBID. And of course, we already integrated their SBID logic, as I mentioned, into their digital security dashboard of the GFST that you can visit and educate yourself and be prepared before the launch of their GFST STO. And very important for us that we go in traction, right? Because we launched this product like only in 3 months and announced the launch from the main stage in Vietnam. And each month, each week, we're moving forward and forward, updating the platform, connecting to GFST, launching GFST, and now we have their ongoing public round of their Soulb utility token, right, in the Coinset. So we're going step by step according to our roadmap, because we previously, I kindly reminding you, we finalized and finished the private sale phase 1, then we finished the private sale phase 2, and now we're currently on the public round, right? And once public round will be finished, we'll go to the trading and to the listings. But very important to understand that during their public round of Soulb that is currently available in the Coinset, people do not have any lockup periods, and it is very important, because on the first round it was 12 months, 1 year. Why? Because it was the most attractive price and the terms, right? Then with a doubled price, we opened the second phase of the private round with a lockup period of 6 months, right? With a higher price. And now with more higher price, we launched the public round, but during this round, it is 0 lockup period. And what we did, because we are pioneering the market, we introduced something very innovative that we shared on our webinars in the beginning of the August when we launched the public round, especially their new engagement model, new tokenized model for community, right? Based on our security token, so revenue share security token SLX. And the logic is the following, that the main idea why we are here, right? And what is their main agenda for the investors? It is to have their benefit, to have the return and have the passive income, right? That's why we decided not to go to the traditional Web2 referral program, right? But run it in our tokenization rules, because we're tokenization providers. And it is something that never done before. It is super innovative. And what we are doing, we sharing and we allocating 20% from all of the company revenue, so from each sold SBID, to their holders of the future SLX security token. So it is the option, it is a possibility to get the passive income each quarter, right? And you're perfectly right when you mentioned that we started like 1.5 years ago. Why? Because anyway, we understand that GFST will have its own STO on our products, right? And our main agenda and main purpose is to provide additional benefits for the users who will anyway will use our products, right? So, and before you are the first, because you're the first who believe in us, who supported us, right? You're the first community where we did it. You have like preferred information and preferred terms. And then what does it mean? That now we have only 10,000 minted SBIDs. But remember, our main KPI is 1 million minted SBID. So by having SLX token, the revenue share security token, where you can get 20% revenue from all of the company that generating, it is a possibility for you to get the profit from each sold NFTs from other communities that we will onboard, because now it is only 10,000. But when we will reach 1 million, it is like a big possibility for you to get additional bonuses from this. And it is also based on your support and based on your engagement. But the question is how I can get the SLX revenue share security token, how I can get it. And the answer is simple. You will be able to convert it from Soulb utility token that was available in Coinset during the private rounds and still available during the public that you can purchase, but only unlocked tokens will be available for the conversions, right? So for the users, old users that participated before, they had, for example, 12 months lockup period from their first January of 2023, right? And the second round, they have 6 months. So the lockup periods for the 6 months will end like in the beginning of September, around the September, right? So it means that all of these people that participated during their private sale phase 2 will be able to unlock their tokens, right? And all of these unlocked tokens of Soulb will be available for the conversion. That's why, for example, if you're purchasing the Soulb now during the public round, it is the ability for you to straightforward, once the public round will be finished, to convert it into SLX revenue share security token and have like revenue share from each sold SBID. And it is the biggest benefit for the community to get your passive income. Jean, do you have something to mention?
First of all, hi everyone. Yes, I do. And hi Mila, thank you for an invitation. And it's great to be here. I think that this video may be seen by people who are definitely outside this community and outside the Coinset community. So before we move on, I would like to take a pause and explain more about what we basically do and why we're here. And if you look at the logo over here that says STOBOX, And what is a STOBOX? And this is where I'm a CEO and co-founder, and Ross is the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder as well. And what we do is that we are turnkey tokenization service provider. So which means that we bring tokenization into the real world, into the life. And when we say by what is tokenization, is basically you have a real world asset, like shares of your company, like physical, like real estate, right? And you put this on the blockchain rails. And when we say turnkey provider, it means that we know everything from the very beginning to the very end of the process. And we've done it many times, and we're building our expertise around these processes. And these processes and this whole tokenization can be divided into two main parts: is the knowledge and is the technical products. Because there's a lot of people trying to understand how tokenization can be done or should be done and what are the best practices. But because we've spent within the last 5 years almost 100,000 hours cumulatively, all our team, on researching and developing the nuances, the pitfalls, regulations, and the processes, how tokenization has to be done in a legal and compliant way, we have, let's say, a perfect knowledge in this. Maybe it's not perfect, but it is almost perfect, which means that we know how it's done, when it's done, how it should be structured from a legal perspective, and so on. And that's only the first part. The second part, this is exactly where Ross has started to talk about, is the products. So our main product is the dashboard. It's where all the magic's happening, whereas the real world assets becomes tokens. And this is called the security tokens, shares, revenue shares, asset tokens. Doesn't matter. These are the assets where dashboard is the platform when they're managed. And as most of you know, that we have recently launched the product called Soulb ID, because the tokenization and because compliance defy decentralized finance, they assume KYC verification, right? It's the investor verification. There is a need and there is a demand for a special standalone product that would be responsible for identification. And what we're already saying is that today's morning, we have already reached the milestone of 10,000 people verified on the blockchain with their wallets that are ready to explore tokenization through the dashboard. And exactly right, this is the first dashboard that we're launching on the ecosystem. This is a bit different from a traditional dashboard because it's all united, right? We unite different parts of the products. The first token, the first real world asset token that would be launched is the GFST security token. So more people engage into the STOBOX, more people engage into Soulb, more investment opportunities like GFST would go for tokenization model. More people will have working together, investing together, and benefiting together. More businesses would be able to benefit this. And when we speak about our tokens and what we do with Soulb, there are two types of tokens that we have. There is a utility token, and the word utility says it's all, right? It's a ticket, it's the way of payment, it's the way of using the product. That's one part. And the second part is, as Ross again mentioned, is a very new concept of a revenue share. So instead of tokenizing, and this is an interesting approach, instead of tokenizing a physical assets, we're tokenizing the revenue of the business. And we say, okay, let's take 20% of all our revenues and let's divide them equally between the token holders. And that's it. So in this case, more people would engage in tokenization, more people engage into Soulb and get verified. And this is, of course, that's a paid function, that's a paid service, you pay $10 for it. So more people engage in this, there's more revenues to be distributed for the security token holders. This is a revenue share security token. And again, what that allows us is to basically pay dividends on a quarterly basis. So you don't need to wait years. You don't need to wait until the company, successes or until the company goes to IPO. Is the revenue from that first day of this quarter till the end date of this quarter, and next quarter you will receive the dividends. And this allows us, first of all, to show real businesses and real investors how tokenization can change the way you interact with the business, because not many businesses pay out the dividends so fast and so frequently. And because the concept works, and we know that it works, the tokenization concept, it gives all these opportunities. So we're welcoming you to get engaged, learn more about tokenization, learn more about STOBOX, Soulb, get engaged into GFST as our first security tokens on the platform, and yeah, be a part of it. So I just decided to give a brief introduction of where it's coming from.
I think it's great, and thank you, Ross and Jean, what you guys mentioned. And I also wanted to get like few steps back for people who are very new. And can you please put those who are watching us on the Facebook, can you please put plus if you are existing a member of the community, and minus if you are completely new person. We as the company Coinset and now GFST, we had our own long way, and we're still going, on this road. But what we have realized that world of the tokenization of the digital assets moving forward very fast. And as Jean correctly said, you need to know how to do it correctly. You need to have a technology, because at the moment there are so many companies who are putting bold statements, but there are only few companies who will actually go and deliver truly tokenized assets. So when we decided to work together with STOBOX, we saw not just a platform where we can list our token, because there are a few platforms like this, but we saw the people and team who can really guide us through, who can help us to go through entire journey from beginning, from the idea to successful launch. And for those who are waiting for the dates of the launch of the GFST token, I have a great news for you guys. The launch will be happening in next month in September. Closer to the end of the August, we'll give you exact date, but we are looking forward to launch our first round of the security token GFST. And we're hoping for the great success because with the team of Ross, Jean, and other people from STOBOX, we managed to create the platform and offering which really stands out. And for every single person who today owner of the token Soulb ID, what this means for you is not just another token which put in your token collection, but this is probably one of the biggest unicorns which you could acquire. When we're talking with Jean and Ross a few years ago, we shared with them the community we have and what we can do when our community empowered. Today, I think we have a lot of sleepy community members, but I'm sure as soon as we launch GFST token, this will be the proof of concept for everybody who has a doubt, who's sleepy, who knows what happened. They will see how the technology works and what exactly STO is. And people have opportunity go through the verification process, go through the legal process, compliance process by having Soulb ID, but also now become co-owner of the security token SLX. And what Ross has shared with you at the beginning, that those who participated in initial public offering, like in closed public offering of the Coinset, closed public offering doesn't sound right. A closed offering for Coinset.
Yeah, private sale round.
Private sale, thank you.
Neither does the IPO.
Yes, so many of those. So those who has joined and have the Soulb ID at the beginning, you guys have amazing opportunities because you got the asset which you under-evaluated on that time. And when we put together the offer for a Coinset community, the token was sold for really like really small like amount of money, which today already a few years after, it is much more expensive than it was offered to the Coinset community. And this is not yet finished. So this month's STOBOX team has offered us to participate now in another round where your tokens will be converted to security. And this is where the world is in security. And we believe that this cooperation will give us not just fulfill our own goals for each company, but this cooperation give us possibility to give back to community. And I want now Ross or Jean to share with the people numbers. What does it mean for person if he or she, the owner, let's say, of the security token and the revenue sharing token, what this actually will mean for them from possibility of their earning point of view, what this token can give to the community?
Let me comment on this. So look, I don't want to dive into the peculiarities of the financial details, but let it put it this way. The Soulbound ID is a standalone company, which is the part of the STOBOX group. And that company is the point of every company is to generate profits and generate revenues. And it's very important, first of all, that we distinguish between profits, the company profits, and the company revenues. Because usually when you add up the costs, the profits may be eaten by, right? So there's a lot of revenues and there's maybe not many profits. That's all the questions, where this money goes to, what are the operations and so on. So we deliberately structured this token as the revenue. So you don't care about the costs, right? You don't care about the corporate costs, about the development of the company itself. You just care about the revenue. What does it mean? It means that more we market, more people get engaged into the Web3, compliant Web3, because Soulb, the SBID technology, is not just for tokenization. It's it answers the question of how to bridge Web3 with compliance. And this is all the regulators say today. So there's already a lot of regulations are put in a way that where the pure crypto transactions may be seen after certain amounts, right? After certain thresholds, may be seen shady. So we need to have a personal identity connected to the wallet, sending whatever tokens to another person, which is another identity. So first of all, we see a great potential and a great demand in this Soulb technology as it is. Because today we say, okay, 10,000. It's a great milestone for us. But again, in the beginning, it's a great milestone. There's a lot of people, and we see that the Web2 is migrating to Web3, especially in a form of finance. This is why it started with, right? But that's why you hear about the cryptocurrencies, you hear about all this decentralized finance, DeFi. But the regulations questions how to make them compliant. And the Soulb is the answer to this. And where we say so, we understand that the potential of the number of the Soulb IDs is, I don't want to say infinite, but it's definitely much more than 10,000 and 1 million is not the maximum, of course, that we can capture. So more people will get engaged in tokenization in the compliant Web3, more regulators will push, more SBIDs, more identities we will issue. It means that our company will have more revenues. Can you hear me right? It means that our company have revenues. And when we say that we allocate 20% of that revenues to all of the token holders, we say that we created 1 million, I think, was it 1 million? Regardless, there's a finite amount of this revenue share tokens, which means that every token holder is entitled for the quarterly dividends. And just by glancing through the figures, we say that we start the price of the first price of the security token is $2 per token, which means that every we need to look at the financial plan. But every 100,000 people would more or less end up in 10% of the dividends from the purchase price. And again, we understand that the compliance makes sure that the SBIDs has to be reissued every 2 years. The same way you change your you have your passport and you go to the bank, and bank asks you to, provide another set of documents every 2 years. That means that this ongoing revenue and ongoing people will have, will be reissued in a new revenue in 2 years. So it's like a snowball going with more and more people engaging. And again, I don't want to say exact figures because I might be wrong, and definitely the financial part is worth seeing separately, but there's a good dividends, definitely much more than the local banks can offer in most of the jurisdictions. And again, if you look at the Web3 and tokenization, what is it? It's the alternative. You can't, you sit where you sit and you look, okay, where can I invest?
Right.
Where I put my money to. And usually it's either IPOs, companies which are traded everywhere, or it's banks, or small amount of local businesses. So tokenization allows you to invest in different business globally around the world, and now not only invest and sell your position, but invest and get the dividends on a regular basis. Ross, would you like to add anything here?
Yes, of course. So to sum up, we have SBID, and it is not a token, it is a decentralized passport, right? SBID that you can have on your blockchain address. You cannot sell it, you cannot transfer it. It's like the confirmation that you are verified, right? And why you need to have SBID? What you will get if you will have the SBID? First of all, it is to access to our ecosystem of tokenized product that we have inside the STOBOX. It is the entry to the various security tokens. Remember, GFST, it is the first company who will go inside their ecosystem, right? And you are the community of this issuer, right? But we have more than 20 clients, right? That can potentially use our ecosystem and be inside this ecosystem, because just from the beginning of this year, we signed new 25 projects. So it is new businesses that are in different pipelines, in the consultancy, legal or technical. And what does it mean? 25 projects, it is 4 projects per month if we based on July, right? 7 months, it is 4 projects in months, and it is 1 project per week. So each week we're signing a new client, right? And after the GFST STO, others clients will start their STOs inside the ecosystem. And what does it mean? That all of the users of our clients need to have SBID to use and to use their dashboards, their STO. So if you don't have SBID, you'll be not able to join because it's ecosystem. And what does it mean? That we will bring the community from each of our clients. It is not our community, it will become ours, right? But it is a community of our clients from different industries, from different countries, Qatar, Liechtenstein, US, Switzerland, right? And our clients will bring their community to mint and to have their SBID. So by having SBID, you will be able to participate in all of these STOs, right? Of the Qatarian projects, of the Liechtenstein projects, of the US project that STOBOX is producing. So it is like the entry for the STOs inside the STOBOX ecosystem, and it is very important. And also what is very important, it is what I mentioned. Because you are the first Because you're the first who understand this information that we have only 10,000, but our goal it is 1 million, right? What does it mean? It means that if you will have the SLX security token, you'll be able to get revenue from each sold SBID. For example, we onboard the second client and they bring a new 2,000 investors to mint SBID. It means that you will have the revenue share from these 2,000 minted SBIDs and from others as well, right? So it is the possibility for you to get benefit from it. And Jean is perfectly right. It is the revenue share. What does it mean? It is very fair model, because usually when we talk about the dividends and when we talk about the startups, you need to spend a years to company to be profitable, right? To get the dividends from the operations. But in the case of revenue share, it means that you will definitely will get their dividends from all the revenue that is generating. It is not the profit, it is the revenue. For example, if company Soulbound ID through their KYC and verification through the SBID will earn, for example, $1 million, right? 20%, it is $200,000. We will allocate for the holders of SLX security token from the revenue, right? It doesn't matter how much we spend, it is from the revenue. So it is very fair enough. It means that each quarter you will get their dividends based on your amount of the security tokens in your portfolio, because it doesn't matter. We'll mint 1 SBID per quarter or 1 million. Anyway, you will have the revenue share from this. And based on your support, on your activity, if you currently participating in this webinar, if you will share it, if you will explain it to your friend, and if you will attract more attention, we will more faster reach this amount of 1 million SBID minted. And it means that you will have additional bonuses because you hold SLX security token. You will have their profit share from each sold SBID. And it is very important for our community. And how I can get the SLX security token? By Soulb utility token, right? That is currently available in Coinset.
I think it's what we call this model for our community. It's MLCI. The opportunity of people to become co-owners of the company which they represent, to have opportunity to promote the products and become entrepreneur, and also to have or being the client of the company which they promote and become a co-owner of. And this is very powerful concept of MLCI, driven by new economic evolution of the world, where people would be co-owners of the old promising and interesting, moving forward, relevant companies in the world. It gives every single person who now participating in this offering really last chance to jump in. The reason why I'm saying this last chance, because we are today on the 23rd of August. At the Coinset back office, there is still an option where people can go and buy Soulb token. You can go and you can have a look and go right now. You will see there is opportunity to buy from as little as $1 to up to 100,000. And anybody who's buying today having the fastest opportunity to convert this token to SLX in the future. So for me, it's definitely a no-brainer model where people have an opportunity to promote something and to be part of something which usually in traditional business only big investors would have been. If you look at the traditional way of running investment and running the businesses, usually the offering like this, they don't go to general public. Usually there are a few guys with the big pockets who are happy to invest. And I'm sure there were lots of people who were keen to just go and give money and sponsor the technology. But idea, it's not just about the technology itself, it's about people, users who will use this technology. So I think if we ask, and let's run a test, Jean, the question for you, who do you prefer? One big investor with the money, or lots of small micro investors with half of the money of big investor? And why?
That's a very good question. And by looking at our traction, you already know the answer. Again, we as STOBOX, we have been bootstrapping the whole journey. We haven't got any VC rounds, even though we had a number of potential interests and much interest. But when you promote tokenization and when you promote community-driven businesses, you have to walk the talk, right? You have to be an example. I don't think it's a good manner when you sell one thing and then you sell Androids and you buy iPhone, right? That's not good. So, that's cheeky. So we are on the way of community-driven businesses, and we as STOBOX, we have tokenized ourselves in the very beginning. Our company is structured in US. We put our shares on the blockchain rails, distributed between the team, between the founders first, then between the team. There's a number of investors that have joined. We know at what specific price how we evaluate our company, and we see how it grows. So of course the question is the community oriented, but there's also very important aspect to be mentioned, is that we're not just looking on how we would benefit the most, because probably tokenization is not the best business if you want a short-term benefits, because that's a never existing business, right? That was a never existing story. And when we started it, very few people understood what it's all about. I mean, literally, you can name them, all these people. And we started the journey. And of course, we invest and we devote ourselves to this. But this, again, there's a very important concept I would like to mention, is the trading of this. It's the secondary trading, because usually when a small business starts and then the big investors go in the beginning, it takes some time for the exit to happen, right? With the startups, it might be in 7, 8, 12 years. Some companies may take even longer before someone may be able to sell their position, to exit from the business. But whereas the tokenization, you can say that the secondary market is more or less on the start, because you do the security token offering and then you put it on, and that's another product that we've built. We've built a secondary market for security tokens, purely decentralized, which means that our people, our investors and our clients, not just, give out the tokens and distribute them and wait until something happens in the future, like an IPO, right? But you would allow to trade those tokens, meanwhile the company grows. And this is exactly what's going to happen with SLX, because there's a limited amount of tokens which will be sold, converted, distributed, no matter where, but they will be on the people's hands. And then once that is done, and we're talking about what, next quarter, we will put them on the secondary trading, and the people will have an ability to liquidate their positions or to buy more, or a new people may enter just by passing this compliance part, the Soulb, and buying the position. So we take a more or less a liquid asset, like a company's shares. They're more or less liquid, because take the shares in the paper form and try to sell it. It will have hard time finding a match. But we take in a liquid asset, and by using the technology and best practices and the knowledges and the know-how, we make it the most liquid asset. How more liquid can you have when by tapping in your mobile phone or using your laptop and buying more or selling more. And you're not just using it, doing this with whatever NFTs or cryptocurrency which has no value, but you do it with the real shares in a compliant, regulated manner. and it's accompanied with the legal, legal terms that actually legally says that you as a token holder own this. It's not just a token, it's the position in the company, which is legally binding, which can be traded within a few seconds, 24/7, 365 days. And of course, when you look at this as it drives us. It drives us as entrepreneurs. That's probably why we're here for the last 5 years, doing, I don't want to say same thing, different day, but different things, different day in one agenda called tokenization. But that's what drives us. And yes, and the ability to, first of all, tokenize an asset and create a secondary market, whatever is a liquid, you create a liquidity. And again, if you look today at how we all manage, like Ross is somewhere in Spain, you're in Europe, I'm in Malta, and we're all speaking together about the same business. The chemistry of the business today's environment, with the people, flying all over the places, having communities from around the world, being able to do their business completely online, it actually makes the demand for the money to be as fast and as travelable as you are, right? You should not depend on on the one place, because we live in a very vibrant world. We don't know what happens tomorrow, so we have to move around where where we find life better. But it's very difficult to bring the capital with you unless it's put on a new rails. This new rails is exactly what we built. So the technology, the blockchain, and the trading. So you need to, there's something happens, you need to sell. You sell it straight away. You move to another city, you move to another continent. You start from there. So that concept is, I think, it corresponds to the new changes of the world itself in a very positive way. So there was even not a question which way we're gonna go. Definitely this way. It's the only way.
The only way forward.
Right.
Well, actually, you mentioned about secondary market, and just to outline this to our listeners, that's actually for us when we decided to launch a GFST on the platform as STOBOX. It was one of the biggest selling points, because you don't want to create a security token just to be locked in like back office of the company. So when investors are coming, you want to have the certain infrastructure, certain development, when you know that this is going to be updated, always compliant, that there is going to be entire team who look after. And for us, it was not possible to sustain this offering just using our back office, let's say. It would completely lose its potential. So that's why having this possibility of the secondary market for security tokens, guys, only like this, it actually means massively, because I challenge you, if you go and try to find some of the platforms which can offer something similar, you will be very tired of trying to find one. There are only few platforms in the world who even do launch STO tokens on exchange, but you will not find a platform which can start it from advisory and finishing by putting the platform customization, initial offering, smart contract, secondary market, and so much more. So many other offering and service STOBOX provided us with. So therefore, we are proudly launching this, our token, GFST token, in this September. In traditional, world, if it would have taken us, like hundreds of thousands of dollars invested into the development, so many people, lots of stuff. It's really big chunk of work, guys, are outsourced. And I think that only this alone means that, whatever the technology is STOBOX providing us with and equipping us with, this is something that is definitely going to be a long-term, for running long-term business. And I like what Ross said about mixing the community. So just think about it. You guys have opportunity to become co-owner of the token. which you still would need to have if you're planning to participate in GFST, because you cannot participate in GFST without having a Soulb ID. So this is like your passport. If you don't have the passport, then you're not able to participate. So sooner or later, you would still need to access your back office if you want to participate in a share drop maybe, or if you wanted to buy extra token for yourself, you still need to go through this road. But why to wait until the price will be much more higher when today you can participate in exclusive terms? And having this not just a revenue, but community sharing model, I think this what makes it really powerful and interesting. And I have some tricky questions for you, Ross. There are some skeptical people in our community who send me a message and saying, how would we ever know that this technology will be accepted by other companies, but other countries? How we ever know that this entire concept will be accepted in the future? So what are the development you guys planning to do? Not just maybe with the corporate, but in general, what a development for Soulb ID to be popularized, and maybe in future will be the token which will be needed for every single SEO project in the world. What are the plans on this?
Yeah, by the way, it is not the future, it is the reality. It is nowadays. Why? Because a few companies already committed to start their SEO based on the ecosystem, but the first client who will be launched, it is GFST. So after the GFST, we will transfer and we will launch other STOs of our clients that use what? STOBOX ecosystem and use Soulbound ID, right? SSO, it's like the same login with Google when you're using your Gmail or Google accounts. The same login with SBID in the tokenized products of STOBOX, right? And it is not about the future, it is about the nowadays. And once GFST will be launched, we'll move forward. And SBID, it is not only about the STOBOX and STOBOX ecosystem, it is about the company who will support this technology also. And because we have a big amount of our clients, that is also Web3 companies that also building something new, something innovative in real estate, in the financial industry, in land industry, etc., in manufacturing, they also have their Web3 products, right? And for them, it is also the biggest headache, it is the compliance, because it is not their business. You can come to the restaurant and ask them about the compliance and security tokens. They don't understand, they don't care about it. They know how to cook, right? The same with other industries and other businesses. The compliance, it is the big issue. And with their new regulatory updates where all of the crypto industry pushing into the regulation, right? It is positively affected the Soulbound ID, because Soulbound ID was created to fulfill the compliance and to help other businesses. So it's like just a fact that with a Soulbound ID, and Soulbound ID as a technology, as a company, it is very potential product and potential technology that currently using, but of our clients, and will be used by other providers as well. Because of the compliance, because company want to do the real estate, they don't want to hire 5 KYC compliance officers, right, and manage them, because they never done it before and they don't want to do it, right? They want to focus on their business. That's why Soulbound ID perfectly fits this idea when we talk about their tokenization and about the compliance.
I would also add, it's an important point, because there is a number of KYC operators, and we're not a KYC operator. We use a regulated, reliable provider to check the documents. So we don't do checks. It's not our business. And we see there's emerging market for the Web3 compliance, which is not difficult as well. I mean, which is a common market. What makes it unique is the match between security tokens, regulations, and the identity. Because every person that goes through the verification there's a set of metadata, right? With where this person comes from, where is the citizenship, you know, I don't want to mention them, but there's a number of those things. And when we speak about the regulations, let's say a EU regulation about the securities, they say any business can fundraise, and there's a certain metadata as well, saying that not many certain people can fundraise or cannot fundraise. So yes, Mila here. there's a structure, and what a Soulb does is not just whitelisting of the people, is making sure that the regulations are met for the issuer, because most of our issuers have no idea about the regulations, and we don't want them to think about this. We want to embed them on chain, and in order to embed those rules on chain, right? Say you can have no more than this, or you can have unlimited this. You need to understand all the metadata, and this is exactly what we do. We take the identity part, we take the regulation part, and we code it for the sake of the issuer, because in this case, any business in the world has no idea about the regulations. They tick, 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 you know, what the law says. Okay, you are Reg D compliant, you are a gas. Okay, tick, tick, tick. And the technology makes sure that the regulations are met. Not the compliance officer, not the CEO, not the head of legal, but the technology. And that's what brings it, what makes it unique. It's not the verification part itself, or it's not even the minting of the token based on the verification, but how that identity is used in this ecosystem to make sure that the compliance cost of the business is dropped dramatically for any bar, for any hairdresser, for any business, any pub, to enjoy tokenization without employing high valuable, high costly legal providers or high costly compliance. And this, we just package this and provide this as the commodity. Service is a commodity, right? Tokenization should be commoditized, but we need to bring down the cost. And that's the key to bringing down the cost. Make sure that the older system is on air in smart contracts.
Yep.
What we do.
Yeah, exactly. You previously asked what will be better, to have one VC fund with one check, or the half of the money, but from different investors. And what we believe in community-driven businesses, right? And what is our main vision, where we are going? It is to drop out the cost of the tokenization, to be able to tokenize every private company, every small and medium company, small and medium enterprise around the world. For example, tokenizing a bar on the street, right? This founder, it doesn't care about the regulation or how tokenization work. He wants to fundraise from the community that drinking beer every night in his bar. And if they enjoy, they can buy the revenue share security token, right? For example, if he will sold one night, I don't know, and will earn $100,000 from the beer, he will share this revenue with their investors who will invest in this security token, easy as it is, right? But to provide this technology and to understanding, you need to be prepared. You need to prepare the technology. You need to drop off the cost by having the technology, and you need to simplify all of the process and onboard those clients. So the founder of the bar only click, right, and select what he want to, but the system will makes the things happen, right? So our long-term vision, it is to be focused on the small and medium enterprises and to provide them this ability to fundraise, not only from the VC funds, because I know you perfectly know it, that I don't know, 80% of all of the companies will never fundraise from the VC, never. But it is small companies, it is service companies, for example, marketing firms, right? They have revenue. Okay, it is not the billion business, but for them, it is like impossible to fundraise through the VC, impossible. That's why tokenization, it is a great tool for them. And it is a significant amount of the companies. It is the millions of the companies that could be potentially tokenized. So our main agenda and main focus, it is to like educate businesses. It is to provide the technology, provide the understanding, simplify the processes, simplify the onboarding processes of the client, to be able to tokenize every bar on the street in a very simple way. Simple way with auto deployment, without maybe our engagement, only through the technology, through the Soulb, through the dashboard, right? Once it will be done, we will see a significant impact to the world, right? Because these companies will open a new possibilities for them through the community that can invest, right? They can put like QR code in the entry door of the bar with the description that they can invest and have a revenue, right? And people will open the iPhones and will buy the shares, the revenue share of this company, like the revenue share of Soulbound ID. And it is a very powerful concept where we are going.
Yep.
Thank you. I see lots of positive comments on Facebook about, you know, the mission you guys just shared with us, because it's truly, I think it's never been about, you know, like one big guy just coming with the money. It's always been, the heart is in community, and you both confirmed this. You know, helping the businesses, helping small and medium enterprises, helping every single person to be part of the journey of success. Usually ordinary people, they just, you know, like stand alone, and they can sometimes participate in the projects, but majority of the very successful projects are usually already taken by the big guys. So I think it's amazing opportunity for our community exclusively at the moment to enter into the Soulb ID, and to in the future to have the SLX with the possibility of becoming co-owner of the company. And also as the GFST member, GFST management team, we have also received a nice gift from Jean and Ross. They agreed to allocate, guys, some of their tokens for us, and we decided to allocate some of the tokens for GFST portfolio, for the fintech portfolio. So our offering memorandum will be updated, and we will be adding Soulb ID with the SLX token as a part of our fintech portfolio. And this will definitely will put us, you know, like in a position where people who will unfortunately miss out the opportunity to have this token at the moment, they could join afterwards and participate in global financial security token, global fintech security token. And partially from that portfolio, we also will have SLX. So this is something I decided to announce today because we have discussed this only a few weeks ago. So huge thank you for this offering, Jean and Ross, that you've been very kind. We worked so hard together, and I appreciate that you are keep sharing, you know, keep giving us. And this offer is amazingly for our token, for our price in the future. It all will contribute. So I hope our community also will be really proud of that news. And please, guys, we have 7 days left, so make the most of it. I know that majority of people who comment in chat, you already have these tokens, you already have possibility to participate into the revenue sharing model. There are so many people. I'm sorry, I can hear myself. But there are so many people who are don't, and maybe there are some people who live, you know, in next neighborhoods in your city, in your country. Maybe there are people who you know from your school times, university times, college times. There are maybe some people who are looking for some opportunities at the moment, and they don't have a possibility to have a good income stream. Whatever that the reason is, into the running the business, have an extra income stream, or having a good opportunity to be associated with a fast-moving company, we have it here right now. Go to the Coinset, have a look at the offering, which is still there for next 7 days. And please do share with those who are not yet participating, because this opportunity will be gone in 7 days, and then we will be happily watching the company's success. But those people who will share in this opportunity will also participate into the revenue share model. And I think it's more comfortable to not just cheer for somebody's success, but to cheer with somebody's success, knowing that you get paid from that success too. So I think we will wrap it up today, hot seat. Thank a lot, Ross and Jean. Is there something you would like to finish on?
Nothing much. As I want to say thanks to you, thanks to Ross, thanks to GFST, thanks for being a pioneers in what you do, and thanks for community for your support.
Yeah, thank you a lot for your announcement. Yeah, I fully agree that it is huge, that we're going together and will be in the portfolio. So I'm really proud of it and looking forward.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening. Thanks a lot for nice comments and everything. And I'm looking forward to see you next hot seat. Thank you to all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.